Elijah and the priests of Baal. And it came to pass after many days that the word of the Lord came to Elijah in the 3rd year of the famine, saying, Go and show yourself to Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth. And Elijah went to show himself to King Ahab. When King Ahab saw Elijah, he said to him, Are you the man who troubles Israel? Elijah answered, It is not I who have troubled Israel, but you and your father's house, by forsaking the commandments of the Lord and following Balaam. Now send out and gather together all Israel at Mount Carmel, and the 450 prophets of Baal, and the 400 prophets of the groves, who eat at Queen Jezebel's table. So Ahab sent word to all the children of Israel, and gathered the prophets together at Mount Carmel. Then Elijah came before all the people, who said, How long will you waver between two beliefs? If the Lord is God, follow him. If Baal, follow him. The people answered not a word. Then Elijah said to the people, I and I alone remain a prophet of the Lord, but the prophets of Baal are 450 men. Let them then give us 2 young bulls, and let them choose 1 bull for themselves. Hey, bless you, my man. And let them choose 1 bull for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on the wood, but put no fire under it. And I will dress the other bull and lay it on the wood, and put no fire under it. Then you call on the name of your gods, and I will call on the name of the Lord. And the God that answers with fire, let him be God. And all the people answered and said, It is well spoken. Elijah said to the prophets of Baal, Choose 1 bull for yourselves, and dress it first. For there are many of you, call on the name of your gods, but do not put any fire under it. They took the bull which was given them, and they dressed it and called on the name of Baal from morning until noon, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice nor any answer, though they leaped upon the altar they had made. At noon Elijah mocked them and said, Cry aloud, for he is a god. Either he is talking, or he is busy, or he is on a journey, or perhaps he is asleep and must be awakened. They cried aloud and cut themselves as was their custom, with knives and lances, until the blood gushed out upon their robes. When midday was past, they worshipped before the altar until time for the evening sacrifice. And still there was neither a voice nor any answer, nor any sign that their gods had heard them. Then Elijah said to all the people, Come near to me. All the people gathered around him. Then he walked up to the altar of the Lord, which had been broken down. Elijah took 12 stones, according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, which made up Israel. With the stones he built an altar in the name of the Lord, and he made a trench around the altar, large enough to hold 2 measures of seed. He put the wood in order, and cut the young bull in pieces, and laid it on the wood. Then he said, Fill our 4 barrels with water, and pour it on the burnt sacrifice and on the wood. When they had done this, he said, Do it a second time. And they did it a second time. And he said, Do it a third time. And they did it a third time. The water ran down the altar. He filled the trench with water too. Then when it was time for the offering of the evening sacrifice, Elijah the prophet came near and said, Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, let it be known today that you are the God in Israel, and that I am your servant and have done all these things at your command. Hang on. Hear me, O Lord, hear me, that this people may know that you are the Lord God, and that you may have their hearts again. Then the fire of the Lord came down, and consumed the burnt sacrifice, and the wood, and the stones, and the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench. When all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, bless you, my love, and said, "The Lord, He is the God! The Lord, He is the God!" And Elijah said to them, "Take the prophets of Baal, let not one of them escape." And they took them, and Elijah brought them down to the brook Kishon, and slew them there. And by evening the rains came, and thus the famine was ended. Oh.
Yeah, up there.
Elijah and the prophets of Baal.
Where's that?
That's pretty awesome, huh?
Up
Made the
there.
fire come down
Nice.
after they poured a bunch of water on it.
Look at there.